Seven, six, five, four, three, two, one.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
Yo, so I gotta admit, today's show was pretty good. You saw our predictions. You saw the end of the year awards, Sage, and now this is I gotta admit, we just went over our end of the year awards, right? So yeah, yeah. So I gotta give us credit. Like that's the first end of the year awards. So what I'm gonna do, and I've actually been pumped. And if you've listened to previous episodes, yo, I've been pumped about this for about a month and a half. And if you went back and listened to the CM Punk Mickey Gall pre-fight analysis, a special guest. You saw that we had a special guest, Guru the God. Guru the God is with us right now. And then you know who else called in?
But wait, there's more. We got the illustrious. We got the illustrious, the always hype and hypematic. I don't even know if that's a word, but we're going to make it a word here in IRWP. I'm already lit. Let's go. What up, Dobbs?
You fucked up. You fucked up. You fucked up. That's the way we start. Whoa. What up, Dahbi? What up, Guru?
What up? What up?
Hey, yo, man. Good to be here, boys. Love the show.
Thank you, fellas. Thank you, fellas. Yo, I gotta admit, I'm excited. So I'm pumped. If you've listened to the previous podcast, I've been pumping this show for probably about a month and a half. And then we've had, at this point, 2 special guests on our show. And these are 2 special guests that we have here that I'm very excited about. And that's because we have UFC 207 coming up. Originally, we were going to talk about possibly 206. You saw there was injuries, there was bow outs, there was people not making weight. Maybe we'll get into somebody not making weight here in a little bit, but there was people not making weight, and we figured, you know what? This card isn't the one they're going to talk about. Guru the God called out a special somebody and said, you know what? Anybody about this future Rousey fight? I'm going to talk to anybody. And we bought just maybe it's anybody, maybe it's not. So let's go ahead and get into the action, boys. So to start off, as you both heard, Cain Velasquez, Fabricio Verdun, scrapped. Like it, love it, or hate it, fight for medical reasons. That seems to be a reoccurring issue in the UFC, but we're not going to get into that. That's for another time here. And I know that we appreciate you guys' time, and we're trying to keep this time constrained. So let's get into it. TJ Dillashaw, John Lineker, obviously at 135 pounds. These guys are fighting for something. More than likely, they're going to fight the winner of Cruz Garbrandt, in my opinion. So let's start off. Guru to God.
Yes.
John Lineker, how's this fight going to go? Tell me who you got.
Man, I see this like I see every other freaking John Lineker fight. I see him gassing in the second round. I think he has a chance if he can knock out Dillashaw in the first, but Dillashaw is just too much of a complete fighter for Lineker. Lineker, he's fighting, honestly, the second best person in that division. I think he's only an ass hair behind Dominic Cruz. I think that fight was so close, but I mean, truth be told, bro, Lineker ain't got nothing for Dillashaw except a puncher's chance. Dillashaw's going to wipe his ass with John Lineker all day.
What you say about that, Dobbs?
Let me start off by saying this. All right? I mean, I agree, dude. Dillashaw is amazing. I don't even know if he's even behind Cruz. I saw that fight. It was razor close. Could have gone either way. I thought I had Dillashaw. I'm a little surprised it wasn't an automatic rematch. But Lineker, I mean, he's coming off 6 straight W's. 3 of them he finished. Last fight against John Dodson, great fighter, went all 5 rounds and won the decision. So I don't think his gas tank is really that bad. You know, I think he can hang in there. This thing about it's just the volume Dillashaw throws is just so incredible. And though I think Lineker has the cardio to go 5 rounds, he's not going to have the cardio enough to go 5 rounds throwing that kind of volume. And I think you're right. Unless he lands that big punch, I think it's gonna go 5, and Dillashaw is just gonna outpoint him. I'm thinking decision, 4 rounds to 1, Dillashaw.
I see it going to the decision as well, man. I don't really see Dillashaw taking Lineker out. Lineker, he got a jaw, man. He can take some punishment. You saw that with the Dodson fight. Dodson was throwing everything at him, and he was still moving forward. I mean, he pushed the pace the whole fight. But like I said, and unless he lands that one hit, Dillashaw is just too complete. The cardio of Dillashaw, and you look at you say that the last 6 fights he's won 4 by knockout, but in a sense he hasn't fought anyone near the level of Dillashaw in the last 4 or 6 fights. Nowhere near that. He fought John Dodson on a come up. Dodson was moving up to 135. I don't know. I mean, Dodson beat Dillashaw, right? So, I mean, he has a puncher's chance. But at the end of the day, I don't see if it's a fight and we're going 5 rounds, unless it's a knockout on Lineker's side, I don't see him. It's a bad matchup for him. I mean, I think the only good matchup for Dillashaw is Dominic Cruz. I mean, everybody else I think is substandard compared to those two right now. That's just me. It could be different. We'll see tomorrow when either he gets knocked out or he wins that decision. But I see a decision as well. I don't see it. I don't see pillow hands Dillashaw knocking anybody out. You know what I mean? So yeah. I see if it's a knockout, it's Lineker. If it's anything else, it's definitely Dillashaw.
Yeah, I mean, I can see Dillashaw with the finish because he doesn't have that one punch power that Lineker has. But I mean, you saw him finish, hitting Barao, but that was again more just the amount of punches he was landing as opposed to the power. But I mean, like I said, I mean, if I had to go one way, it's definitely got to be Dillashaw. I believe he's a 2-1 favorite right now on Vegas. But yeah, it's got to be Dillashaw decision. Lineker's gonna put up a fight, dude. He might still. I can see him still in the first round. He's gonna have more gas there, throwing some more bombs, I think. But at the end of the day, I mean, the footwork and the output, it's just gonna be too much. Dillashaw's gonna walk away. And I mean, even though UFC's been kind of mum about if they're gonna get the next title shot, but I think definitely the winner of that fight's got to be face the winner of the co-main event, Cruz versus Garbrandt.
Yeah, there's no other choice. I mean, you can't put nobody above those two right now.
I mean,
there's no one else to put above them. I'm predicting that fight TKO round 3 Dillashaw. That's what I'm calling.
I got you.
Dahbi, where are you calling it? What round is it going to finish in? And it's a 3-round fight, by the way.
I say TKO round 3.
Nah, man. I'm seeing decision on that one, dude. Decision Dillashaw.
I don't like your attitude, bro. I'm saying TKO round 3.
But nah, man. Because even when he was finishing Barao, Dillashaw was finishing Barao like it was in the championship rounds, round 4, round 5. But I don't think he's got enough. He doesn't have the knockout power, but he's gonna win that fight.
I just think it's gonna be a cardio disadvantage. That's why TKO is gonna happen. I think that he's gonna put that pace on Lineker that he can't handle, and it's gonna gas him. I think he'll be gassed by the middle of the second round. I think after the first round he'll be going in the second a little tired. I think they're both going to be standoffish in the first, so I don't see much happening. I see Lineker pushing it in the first round, but he'll have to get it done. I mean, and he'll know he'll have to get it done in the first round. That's what's going to cause him to gas because he won't.
Well, how many 5-round fights has Dillashaw had? 2, right?
3.
He's had 3, yeah, man.
He's had 2 with Barao and 1 with Cruz.
So if he could push the pace at a 5-round fight, especially against somebody like John Dodson, who, granted, I will say, John Dodson is a 2-round fighter. Can we all agree? If he's not finishing a fight in 2 rounds, he's not winning a fight.
I'd say 3 rounds.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, when you look at the cardio game of TJ Dillashaw, you got to remember, despite who he's fought before, this dude had a razor-thin fight with Dominic Cruz, who is the cardio king of the UFC. Dominic Cruz is the most active moving person, the fastest paced person. The guy is never stopping. And Dillashaw held his own, and it was razor-thin. It could have gone either way. And it was only the second time that a belt was changed hands by decision at that time. So, I mean, you got to understand the cardio difference of Dillashaw versus anybody else but Cruz. That cardio is insane. I mean, he just doesn't get tired, just like Dominic Cruz doesn't.
Good. So you both agree that Dillashaw, 2 by knockout, 3 by decision, no doubt, right?
Yeah, I mean, and you're right. It is a 3-round fight. You're correct. I was wrong, but yeah, I think it's going to be 2 rounds to 1 Dillashaw. Like I said, he has 5-round fights, but like I said, I don't think they've even gone the distance, or just with Cruz. But he did with Cruz, and then he had a 5-round fight with, I believe it was Joe Souza when he defended his belt. And then obviously the 2 fights with him and Barral, those were 5-round fights, but he ended up finishing Barral in the later rounds. But just being 3 rounds, I think it's better for Lineker that it is 3 rounds and not 5. But at the same time, it just as Jay was saying, like, he's so active, just like Cruz is, man. You just can't catch the guy, man. I don't think Lineker's gonna be able to catch him.
Well, that's the thing, is that Dillashaw is more, in my opinion, and correct me if I'm wrong, fellas, Dillashaw is much more aggressive, and he's much more active offensively and proactively, whereas Dominic Cruz is a much more defensive fighter, and he gets ragged on for being a defensive fighter that runs away. But at the same time, Dominic Cruz, I hate to use the term Mayweather, but because you have much more room to run away in an octagon, Dominic Cruz is very, very difficult to touch because he'll hit you with a 1-2 punch and then flat out create space, which to a lot of folks seems like running away. So it begs me to ask, Dominic Cruz, Cody Garbrandt, who do you guys got?
Yeah, man. On this one, dude, it's kind of a similar story, man. Like, because Garbrandt, he's got that power, like probably the most power we've ever seen at that weight class. That's the way he knocks people out, but just Cruz, man, he's got to be the most elusive fighter, I would say, in UFC history, man. And I think that's a common misconception. I think he's more of a Mayweather type fighter where he just moves around defensive. But I'm looking at his stats here, man. Against Uriah Faber, landed 87 shots. Against TJ Dillashaw, 112 shots. Like, he throws and he lands. It doesn't look like much because of this constant movement, and they're not going to have a lot of power on him. But he lands quite a bit throughout his fights. And like I said, with him being so elusive, and Garbrandt hasn't really faced, top tier competitors in his career. This is going to be really his first shot at top tier, and it's going to be a 5-round fight. I mean, to me, this is a clear cut. It's one of the easiest fights of the card to call. I believe Cruz is at minus 275 right now, heavy favorite in Vegas. To me, it's gonna be. I wouldn't be surprised if it was 5 rounds to 0, Cruz.
I feel the same way, bro. And it's kind of easy to call this one kind of like the Dillashaw fight. I feel that Garbrandt has some extreme power, but it's landing that power on Dominic Cruz. That, and even the takedown defense of Cruz, the recovery speed of Dominic. I mean, you got to think Faber rocked freaking Cruz, dropped him, and his recovery was damn near instant. I don't see any way how Garbrandt wins this fight other than a complete knockout. Flattens him out, and that's it. The takedown defense from Cruz is better. I don't even know why I'm even talking about this fight, because I don't know how this shit even happened, to be honest with you. I don't understand how the fuck your last fight you're fighting to get in the top 10, and then your next fight you're fighting for the belt. I don't understand that shit.
Don't even get me started on that, bro. We already.
but I think that the Cruz is so far in Garbrandt's head. Garbrandt's going to be going in there to forgetting that he's there to win a belt. Then he's there just to fight somebody. I think he's going into a fight and not going into a title match. I think he's going in there to settle the score of social media and not really going in there to fight for a belt. I think it's personal for him now and not business. And for Cruz, it's always business. He wants that championship belt. So I think that he's under Garbrandt's skin, bro. And I think it's to a point where Garbrandt is angry to the point where he's not focused on winning a shot. He's just focused on knocking him out. And that's it.
Yeah, I mean, when you come into a fight against a world-class fighter like Dominic Cruz, and I think he's right, like if you're really just relying on man, I hope I land that one punch. It's like, well, then you've already lost, homie, because it's going to take a lot more than that to beat a world-class fighter, arguably top 5 fighter in the world like Cruz, if you're just hoping on a one-shot knockout, because it ain't going to happen, homie.
No, it ain't. And that's the thing. He's been told in his whole career up until this point how good he is at knocking people out. He knocked him out. He really believes his shit. Like, he believes
but
that
who's he
shit.
knocked out? Name a top fighter that he's knocked
Exactly.
out. Nobody.
He hasn't. I mean, the only person that that I would say that was kind of good was the Hispanic boy he fought. I forgot the top 10 fight. He just beat the other boy, the Mexican dude. He beat him. Thomas Almeida. That's who it was.
Almeida.
He knocked him out, but I mean, it really looked like Almeida was very gun shy in the fight, you know, and that's what Garbrandt saw. He knocked him out. But truth be told, I just don't see it happening to someone, one, who's not scared of his power, two, who just is just he's just insane, and that's what Cruz is. Cruz is he's an insane fighter who has insane footwork, and when you think he's going left, he's going right. You know, everything that you've taught how to hit somebody, he makes it seem like you've never fought before. Mm-hmm. You know, he's damn near as accurate as Conor McGregor. He doesn't have the power, but he has the endurance of a freaking lion, man. Like, the dude is just relentless.
Bro, homeboy's got footwork like my boy Enzo Amore, bro. How you doing?
That was a shout out to the previous 30 minutes of what we talked about. So, all right. You know what? Let's
hold on. I got to interject real quick. All right, okay, just real quick, man. I know y'all thinking Garbrandt, Cody or whatever is gonna take a dive on this one, man. But homie hasn't lost a fight yet. And,
but he hasn't fought
famous words
either. Who has he fought?
In the famous words of one of the greatest fighters ever, any man with two hands can, and he's going to shock the world, bruh. He's going to shock the world.
I never discredit a puncher's chance, but that's all I think that him, and that's all I think that John Dodson have in their fight is a puncher's chance. Anyone can get knocked out on any day. It doesn't make you the better fighter. Look at Jose Aldo and Conor McGregor. That fight would have really happened. I think Aldo would have smashed McGregor, personally. I don't care what no one says. But everyone has a puncher's chance. And just because you land that punch does not make you the better fighter. It just makes you the fighter who won that night. So, yes, Garbrandt can knock out Dominic Cruz. But if it comes to a fight that we're supposed to be calling, there's not a snowball's chance in hell that Garbrandt wins the fucking fight. Not a chance.
So I got you. You gonna go knock out Cruz? Come on, bro. Get out of here, bro. Get out of here.
I'm just saying, bro.
Close to Cruz, bro. Get out of here.
Dude, I take him out any day.
Yes, sir. I hear you.
Y'all go at it. I'll put my money on you, Sage. I got you, bro.
Let me ask you, fellas, is John Dodson trash? Because you got to figure he can't beat Demetrius Johnson. He's fought him twice. He lost. But he is okay. Let me ask you this. Is John Dodson Frank Mir?
Now,
Frank Mir is the
gatekeeper of
the heavyweight division.
Dodson didn't. Okay. Now Dodson is, I guess, kind of what you would call it. We've talked about a gatekeeper. You know, like he can beat the best in the world except for the top tier. You know, he can beat. I mean, to lose to Demetrius Johnson twice, is that really a bad mark on your resume? Like, come on. Like, he wasn't like he got murdered. Like he went the distance with him. You know. So I mean, I think he's a great fighter, but he's just not good enough to beat DJ. And honestly, I don't think he's good enough to beat Dominic Cruz in 135 either. You know, it's just kind of like, you know, I don't know. Karl Malone was great, the Jazz were great, but they ran into Michael Jordan, they ran into history. What can you do, bro? Doesn't mean they were bad teams.
John Dodson is no gatekeeper. All right, gatekeepers are people like fucking Ben Rothwell. You know what I'm saying? Who's that dude who's pissed off for stereo? Misha Tate? No, hell no. Gatekeepers are people like that. I consider Anthony Pettis a gatekeeper now.
Wow.
We talk about my boy Showtime, bro.
Johnny Hendricks. Johnny Hendricks is a gatekeeper now. A gatekeeper is a big name that has
A gatekeeper should be able to make weight, okay?
A gatekeeper, this is very true, but a gatekeeper is the person who they can put on a pay-per-view card for the first fight who has recognition. That's a gatekeeper. Or who can headline a prelim. That's a gatekeeper. I don't feel that Dodson's a gatekeeper. I think that Dodson, like I said, I don't see how he lost against Lineker. I don't. I think that Dodson handled the fight. I know he backed out most of the time and he was being pursued, but I mean, that's like telling me that you really fucking believe that George St. Pierre beat Johnny Hendricks. And if you believe that, well, shit, I'm on the wrong damn podcast because that shit never happened either.
Hendricks won 2 rounds out of 5. He won round 1 and he won round, I think, 3. And that's it. His highlights are in. I won't go into this, but Johnny Hendricks, his highlights are in 2 rounds in that GSP fight. Other than that, that's my opinion.
His highlights is in his hair, and that's it.
Johnny Hendricks had 2 rounds with 4 highlights, and that's it.
I had Johnny Hendricks in that.
I had Johnny Hendricks by a long shot. I had him on takedown defense. I had him on freaking takedowns because he took down
Not to mention
GSP.
most damage dealt in the fight.
Yep, damage, accuracy,
Oh, there we
punches
go.
thrown.
Just saying.
But you know what?
Damn it.
This was 3 years ago, guys. All right, this is 3 years ago. What are we arguing about?
We gotta move on.
The bottom line is
You gotta get off the
Dotson
juice,
is
son.
not a
You couldn't fight
gatekeeper.
GSP when you on the juice. Get off the juice.
Dotson's not a gatekeeper.
That's what I'm saying.
Dotson, I think he belongs in the top. I think Dotson belongs in the top 7 of the not featherweights, bantamweights. I think that him and Almeida would be a good fight. I think that'd be a good run for who's going to be in the top 5. So
Guru, let me ask you a question. If you can't win a championship, if you can't win a chip, but yet you could beat everybody else, how are you not a gatekeeper?
That's what I'm saying, bro.
For John Dodson's
okay,
sake.
well,
Tell him, Goose. Tell him.
I'm gonna say because one, the people who should be fighting for those titles aren't, because there's these things called money fights now. All right, and that's what's creating gatekeepers. It's not that people aren't winning championships. It's these people who are jumping the line, like the Garbrands, who shouldn't be fighting for a title. It should be somebody else. But instead, they're turning people like Dillashaw into a fucking gatekeeper because they're putting a number 8 fighter against a number 1 instead of the number 2 and number 1. It's the way these rankings are happening because UFC is so far in fucking debt from this sale that they having to produce money fights instead of ranking fights. What's the point of having a ranking if you're not going to abide by it? If number 1 and number 2 are healthy, why is number 8 fighting? Tell me that.
Well,
yeah, you're absolutely right. But Dotson, he had 2 cracks at it, and he performed well in both of them, So it's not like he's getting shots that he didn't deserve. He did deserve it. He showed he belonged to be there. Because correct me if I'm wrong, but DJ is right now the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world, and Dotson has gone 10 pounds with him. So he's proven that he's been there. So dropped him at like 7 in the weight class, even though he hasn't fought in that weight class very much, obviously. He just moved up there. But still, like, he's proven that he can go toe-to-toe with the best in the world and hang with them. So, it's not like he didn't deserve those title shots. He got them, but he couldn't do it.
Put yourself in the position of, let's say, Damian Maia. We're going to talk about gatekeepers. We're talking about the ultimate one right now. Damian Maia, right? He fucking fights Anderson Silva, right? And because he's so fucking boring, because he's the most boring I'd rather watch fucking paint dry than watch a Damian Maia fight. Truly. Okay? But because he's so fucking boring, this guy has dropped down because he couldn't compete at 185 no more. The competition got stiff. So he goes down to 170, and he is wiping everybody off the map at 170. Why have they not given him a title shot? They're making him a gatekeeper because he just doesn't sell tickets. Nobody wants to see Damian Maia fight. So in turn, they're turning you into one. It's not the Damian Maia found a title shot at 185. He lost pretty fucking bad.
Because Silva cleaned out the division, so they had to throw somebody.
But at 170, do you think Damian Maia couldn't beat Tyron Woodley if he grabbed a hold of Woodley and avoided the hit? You don't think?
No, bullshit. I think I'm with Jay on this one. I think if Maia gets a hold of Woodley, I think Woodley.
I think it's over.
I
think if Maia gets a hold of. No, I think if Maia gets a hold of Woodley. Okay, look, go back to 2010 and watch Tyron Woodley and Nate Marquardt, and then you'll tell me I'm right, because Marquardt handled fucking Tyron Woodley that whole fight.
Yeah,
in Strikeforce
6 years ago, bro. Woodley's gotten a lot better since then. Like Woodley.
This is true, but you got to understand that you're trying to.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, against Wonderboy, who's a badass.
Oh yeah, but you're thinking about the key moment of a fighter, which is his knockout power. You got to imagine that he had to go 5 rounds with this guy, and even if he hit Damian Maia, who does have a pretty good chin, can he continue to beat him? If he drops him and falls on top of him and tries to finish the fight, is he going to be able to keep himself out of harm's way with a Damian Maia type fighter? I don't think so. I think his only chance is a knockout. I mean, Damian Maia, once he shoots on you and grabs something, he's got it. He's not letting go.
No doubt.
He's a complete,
the best
fucking grappler.
Hands down in UFC right now, and probably for the last
years,
is Damian Maia.
I think if you put that's why they haven't put anybody or put Damian Maia against anyone in the title picture, because they know for a fact Damian Maia is going to beat Thompson. He's going to beat Thompson. He's going to beat Woodley. He's going to beat Lawler. He would have fucking
draw. But to your point, though, like, what's more exciting, a grappler or
exactly
knockout power like Lawler, knockout power like Woodley?
At the end of the day, it's about ticket sales.
It's obviously those.
It's about ticket sales over the list. It's about the sale of the ticket. Who can put more asses in seats? Damian Maia, he couldn't. I couldn't fucking pay for people to come watch a Damian Maia fight at my house. You know what I mean? It's just not gonna happen.
Yeah,
Like I say, I'd rather watch a tree grow than watch fucking Damian Maia fight, bro. It's just so bad. It's boring.
That's why Ken Shamrock needs to be in the mix.
Oh, bro, come on,
bro. He's only 78, bro. He's got like 7 good years left, dude. He's good.
He's almost in his prime, guys.
He'll put ass in seats, all right?
That shit's funny.
Oh, man. So speaking of Shamrocks, we got Garcia and Pyle. What y'all think about that one?
Damn, dude. I've always been a huge Mike Pyle fan, dude. Not just because the mullet, which is sexy as hell, but that guy just always comes to fight, man. He doesn't back down. He gets rocked a lot. He gets dropped a lot, but goddamn, he always comes back. It's exciting. Damn, dude. I can't find myself ever rooting against Mike Pyle, dude. He's old. He probably should hang him up, but goddamn, dude, he's a fighter, man. He's just a fighter. I love him.
Well, listen, I have to go with Mike Pyle because in January 31st of 2010, there was this fight at Great Plains Coliseum in Lawton, Oklahoma. And there was these pair of blue gloves that were given to me by the great Mike Pyle. And I used those gloves to knock somebody out in the second round. And then I gave one of those gloves to my older brother, which I hope he still has. But those gloves were signed. Those
downstairs right now.
But that glove was actually signed by the great Mike Pyle in a silver permanent marker, and I actually used those gloves to knock out Fred Vargas in round 2. So yeah, you know, I'm always going to be a Mike Pyle hopeful. I think it's time. It's been time for probably the last 4 years. It's been time to hang him up. He did great things on his comeback in WEC, but I mean, that shit's a long. That Faber hung him up. Let's go, Mike Pyle. You know what I mean? I hear they're hiring broadcasters. Let's do something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Get this W, Pyle, and just hang him up, bro. You had a good career. Got nothing left to prove, man. I think everybody in the MMA community respects you, bro. But like, let's hang him up, baby.
Yeah, I think when you're not in the race for a belt anymore, like when you're no longer in the title picture, or you know, I think that at that point in your career, it's time to go. Yeah, I don't know. I feel the same way for Rashad Evans too. As much as I love Rashad Evans, it's time for him.
Well, they're both in the same boat by far. They're both.
I said there's a different boat because Pyle can actually get cleared by an athletic commission. Rashad cannot. So
this is
Rashad
true.
may have to retire based off of that, dude. At least Pyle can hopefully win tomorrow and go out on a high note, his own note. But Rashad, like, I don't know what the hell's going on with that guy, man.
Well, I think Rashad has some injuries that are lingering, and it's kind of like the same thing we talked about and mentioned at the top of the podcast today, that with Velasquez mentioning some of the injuries that he had and mentioning taking medicinal marijuana to kind of fend off some of the injuries, I think Rashad is in the same boat. You got a couple of lingering injuries. I think that you just can't fight, and it's not bad. It's just, I mean.
Well, I'd say like Kane has got like a lingering back injury. Supposedly, what I'm hearing about Rashad is he's got lingering brain damage injury. Okay, they say he's like hockey 6, bro. This is like for real. Like when you're brain damaged, dude, they're still trying to fight. Like you ain't getting approved anywhere, man.
Speaking of
Guatemala, bro. All right.
Of Cain Velasquez. I want to like if I pray that someone in that higher power of the organization watches this and understands that Dana White, you're a piece of shit for fucking saying what you said about Cain Velasquez. I think that as a promoter, you're a fucking cockfag for fucking saying that this guy is trying to get out of a fight or whatever. This guy is in your top 3, and you're sitting there saying he doesn't want to fight. I think that you're damaging the product and you're damaging the fighter. The guy who has brought that heavyweight division to relevancy between him and Dos Santos, brought the heavyweight division back to relevancy after the Brock Lesnar thing. And you shit on that guy because he has an ongoing injury, which I do feel that injury is due to the camp. You got 3 champions out that are in the same fucking camp, 2, and then a number 1 contender in the same camp. So I think that the camp has a lot to do with their injuries. But at the same time, I think Dana White's a piece of shit for saying all those things he said about Velasquez not wanting to fight or scared to fight. you damage the product and you damage the fighter. And then everyone starts to believe the shit Dana White says because he says it on TV, and 90% of the world believes the shit that he says.
Okay, so let me ask you guys. So, is Dana White good or bad for the product? Dahbi, I'll turn to you first.
Man, honestly, like I feel like he was good early on, like because obviously when they bought the UFC for what was like $2 million, like since then they were what, banned on pay-per-view, couldn't even do it on pay-per-view. Since then, he's brought him to, you know, a great stage, a great life. And to me, he was good for that particular time of the infancy of that company. And now he's got him to a point where I feel like his relevancy has plateaued. And I feel like he's gotten him as high as he can. And I think what I was hoping when the company was purchased was that hopefully it would be out with the old, in with some new shit. You know, I feel like he got him where as far as he could take him. I couldn't agree more with Jay. Like, I've always hated him. I've told you, Goose, in the past. I can't stand how, like, when Anderson Silva was in his prime, he was his biggest moneymaker. He would shit on him when he would have boring fights. You know, it's like, dude, this is your moneymaker, your bread and butter, and you shit on him afterwards, saying, you know, the guy's no class, the guy puts boring fights, you know, he should have fought better. Like, dude, you can't shit on your players like that.
You're referencing the Damian Maia fight, obviously.
Damian Maia, also Talis Ladies. There was also the was one more fight. It was.
That dude where he elbowed him in the top of the head for a while before he put him in a triangle. That guy, I forgot his name, but
he was hitting Travis Lutter. I know that was an okay fight, but still, like,
Travis
he was
Lutter,
a big red maker, and still, like, it was, he was shitting on him, you know. So I feel like he's done a great job in the UFC, but I feel like he's taken him as far as he can go, and they need to get somebody else in there to take him to the next level. And I want to point out that Dahbi Amore is available for said job.
You'll have to cut it a little bit. You have to cut away just a little bit, Dahbi. Just a tiny bit.
Let me ask his. Hold on, before you get in there, because I do want you both to kind of weigh in on this as well, though. And Goose and I were talking about this when the news broke, but I felt that there was going to be some repercussion when the Fighters Association, which consequently Cain Velasquez is a part of, came to light. And I'm wondering if you feel that Dana White's outlash has something to do with Cain's involvement in this.
Shit, yeah. Hell yeah. You know, you gotta understand that Dana White for the last 20 years, not 20, I'm sorry, 19 years, 18 years, however long he's been the president and promoter of UFC, has paid the fighters 8% of the company's earnings. 8%. You look at the NFL, which I'll get to in a second, and the NBA, which is 48-52 to organization to player. There is no fucking reason. There is no reason why the UFC is a $4 billion company and these fucking people who are in the top 10 are stepping in that ring for $16,000. That is insane, and you're getting bullshit. You're being told that you can't have any sponsors because Reebok sponsors this, and if you have sponsors, they have to be okay with not being tagged on your apparel, not being mentioned after a fight. You have become a dictatorship of a company versus a worldwide company. You know, you have deemed how they will get paid, who will pay those players or those fighters. You have given them bullshit money into a point where it's take it or leave it. There's no reason why Carla Esparza, who was the first fucking champion in that division, is selling the Harley that she won on Ultimate Fighter to make ends meet. Carla Esparza, the leader of that division, the first person to put it on the map, should no shit, truly should be close to have $1 million. Truly, there's no reason why 20 years later, Conor fucking McGregor is the first person to break $1 million tag. That's insane. That's insane. I mean, you got to think the people who are on the fucking regular card of a boxing match, they're getting paid more than a professional fight of the UFC. Those people, I mean, maybe not the main event, but the first card on the pay-per-view, the first match on the pay-per-view, the fucking first fight on a boxing match is getting more than the leader of the pay-per-view, except for Conor McGregor, Rousey, or Jones. You know what I mean? Tyron Woodley, this is his title defense against Stephen Thompson. The card was fucking amazing, but he didn't make $1 million. You know what I mean? I'm sure he would if he had had sponsors. The reason I say Dana White's a piece of shit is because if things don't go his way, I think he forgot his place. And all you from San Antonio will definitely should agree with me when I tell you that he's the fucking Jerry Jones of the fucking UFC. He gets too involved in personal matters.
Great point.
He gets too involved in the fighter discussion. You're a president and you're a promoter. You're not a finance officer. You're not a fucking payroll officer. You're none of that shit. You are a president and promoter. That's it. You promote the product and you run the show. But when it comes to fighter pay, there's no fucking reason why a fighter with 22 fights, and I'm saying this as Kat Zingano, is getting in the Kat Zingano of all people, a very well-known female fighter, is getting in that ring for $8,000 to show up and $8,000 if she wins. Come on, man. Are you kidding me? This girl fucking headlined a pay-per-view Ronda Rousey. She's getting $8,000. You know what I mean? What are you gonna do? And then you still have to pay your camp. You still have to pay your, your coaches. You have to pay the taxes off. But you have to do all that shit. And then you really show up and you left that thing with $6,000 after everything's said and done. It's trash.
Yeah, that's before tax. So take 30% of that away.
Before tax. Yeah.
And then when you fight in Vegas, you're getting luxury tax, which is another 35% because you're being luxury taxed in the state of Nevada.
Just
it's
you
not
train for 3 months just to show up
Yes.
to fight somebody for $3,000.
That's it. If you are contracted through the UFC, you should be on a payroll. If you are contracted through them, you might have to wait to get the big number on your fight night, but you should be getting a constant payroll through your contract for those months of training, for this and that. Because the UFC tells you a couple months in advance, hey, we're going to use you for the pay-per-view. You're going to be the 8th fight on the card. Awesome. That's what's up. I'll be training for it. You sign it, sign this, you sign this, we come together, we're fighting. All right. So in advance. There's no reason why you're paying out of pocket to give the UFC a show. You should be getting paid to give them a show. You understand? As a soldier, they pay the army to go fight a war. They don't send you to war and depending on how you do, give you a paycheck. Right? I mean, truth be told, we'd all be fucking poor. But I mean, I don't like the way Dana White does things. I think that he needs to keep his mouth shut when it comes to the fighters. I think he needs to address at the podium. He needs to address the gate numbers, the ticket sales, pay-per-views.
And that's it. Yeah. Stay at it.
That's it.
Stay at it.
Let the fighters talk. I'm glad that the fighters have a union now, but Dana White is the most toxic thing. Back then he was good, but when this thing blew up and became mainstream, he's become a diva of sorts. He's become the face of the organization.
He didn't know how to handle it, and that's the thing is, when you get somebody who doesn't know how to handle it, you have situations where they don't know how to handle expansion. And I think you look at Ronda Rousey, like in the title fight coming up soon, huge expansion. Ronda Rousey and Conor McGregor are arguably the biggest stars of the promotion of all time. They hit mainstream apparel. They've been in movies, and we haven't even seen Conor McGregor in movies yet. So Ronda Rousey's coming back this Saturday. She's fighting Amanda Nunes. So let's start with Dahbi Amore. She's coming back, and as we both know, Nunes is probably going to keep this on the stand-up. So talk to me. Who you got? Who got Dahbi?
Man, Goose, I'll tell you what, dude. Like I would say, up till about a month ago, I was all Nunes all day, man. I just feel like she's been looking so good. She would just dispose of Miesha Tate easily, just owned her. And I was like, man, with Rousey, she's so mentally and emotionally fragile. She finally loses a fight, talks about ending it all, has to take a year off, just goes into the shadows. I'm like, man, this chick is so fragile, man. Ain't no way she's coming back. Ain't no way she's going to get that belt back. But I tell you what, man, this reminds me a lot about McGregor Diaz. Now, the first fight with McGregor Diaz, right? McGregor's all talk. Press conferences, showy, talking all that shit, hyping everything up. He's more concerned about hyping the fights and just being in the spotlight. And he goes out against Diaz and he gets choked out. And he's done, right? Second fight, you don't see press conferences. You don't see him talking a lot of shit. You see him just saying, hey, I want to sit there and train. I want to focus, refocus everything, get back on track, and get my shit back, right? So with Rousey, similarly, before, that Holly Holm fight, she was kind of like feeling herself a little bit, doing a lot of interviews, a lot of commercials, movies, things like that, feeling herself like, hey, look, I'm the shit. I ain't got to train that hard for this. I think she came out of that home fight arrogant, I think she didn't take it seriously. She was more concerned about spotlight and promotion than about fighting. She got knocked out. This fight, you're not seeing a lot of Rousey press conferences, talking, commercials, nothing like that. She's just strictly, I'm here to fight, and that's it. And I think with that refocusing she's doing now, I feel like she's going to come out a better Rousey. She's going to fix what she did wrong with Holm, which I think wasn't anything, was arrogance. She didn't think Holm could knock her out because nobody never knocked her out. And I think now she'll be more cautious. Nunes is a finisher just like Rousey is. But I think with Rousey refocusing, overall, I think she is the better fighter. And there's no way in hell this fight's going the distance because both these are the finishers. But I think Rousey will get her bearings back in the first round, maybe get tagged once or twice, but still realize, she's all right. And I'm thinking Rousey submission round 2 is what I'm thinking.
Oh, shit. Here we go.
I have been waiting for this moment for the last 3 months, and all this shit inside of me is finally here to discuss this shit right here. Okay, check this out. The problem with Ronda Rousey is the same fucking problem that started again 1 month ago. One thing. Ronda Rousey does not belong in the top fucking 5. Okay, you've been gone for a whole fucking year,
Wow.
and people have been active, and everyone has been active except you, Ronda Rousey. So you don't belong in the top fucking 5. You absolutely don't. You belong like from 7 to 10, right behind fucking Juliana Pena, because she's the one that's been fucking doing the damn dirty. You know what I mean? Holly Holm.
Kenya's tight.
Holly Holm knocked her the fuck out. She decides to take a year plus off. How the fuck does she go from back rank to number 6, so that's where she was, to all of a sudden Ronda Rousey's number fucking 1? How did this happen when Ronda Rousey hasn't fought since she lost? How is Ronda Rousey in the top fucking 5? How is Anderson Silva still in the top 10? These are things that boggle my mind, okay? Ronda Rousey does not belong at number 1 spot. I'm not saying Juliana Pena does, and I'm not saying Holly Holm does. What I'm saying is Ronda Rousey absolutely does not. Ronda Rousey's problem is that Ronda Rousey believes all the horse shit America has said about her. Ronda Rousey got her fucking ass kicked by Holly Holm because she believed, because she knocked out Beth Correa, that she could knock out everybody. When that absolutely is not true. Ronda Rousey would get her fucking ass worked out by Amanda Nunes. She believed the shit they talked about her. She finally met someone who was pretty fucking big and tough, and she got her ass beat. Up until that fight, she had one lucky break when she beat Kat Zingano so damn fast. Because if that fight would have happened, I think Kat would have beat her. I do not see the competition that everyone else is seeing that they've thrown in front of Ronda Rousey. I don't see a competitive fight other than Holly Holm and Kat Zingano. Everybody else has been force-fed. Before Conor McGregor fought Jose Aldo was Max Holloway. That was the only tough fight he had ahead of him. And if he would have fought, what's that boy? The boy with the mole on his face. I forget his name. Chad Mendez. If he would have fought Chad Mendez on Chad Mendez full camp, Mendez would have wiped his ass with Conor McGregor. I think we all know that. But there's not a snowball's chance in hell that I feel Ronda Rousey, number 1, is number 1. I think she's trash. I think she believes her own hype. And I think just like Brock Lesnar, when the people started coming into the division, her fucking days were numbered. Just like his days were numbered when Dos Santos and Cain Velasquez stepped into that motherfucker. Those days were numbered. Ronda Rousey believes her own hype. Half of America believes the hype behind Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey's good at one thing. That's throwing people and get him in arm bars. I have never seen Ronda Rousey work well under pressure because the only time she's had to work under pressure, she got knocked out. That's it. Ronda Rousey has been an aggressor all her fights. And honestly, the Miesha Tate fight, the second Miesha Tate fight, it could have gone to Miesha Tate if that thing didn't get ended. It could have gone to Miesha Tate. Let's be real. Okay? Amanda Nunes destroyed Miesha Tate. Amanda Nunes, I think her toughest competition so far has been Valentina Shevchenko, who I also think will beat Ronda Rousey. I think Ronda Rousey should have fought Holly Holm when she came back because that's what happens. That's what champions do. You fight the person that beat you. I think at the end of the day, Ronda Rousey's been out for over a year now, and ring rust is a motherfucker. She might be ready in the training area. She might be ready in that bullshit cage that they train in. But when you step out in front of 100,000 people, all that shit goes away. It's a whole different ball game. And Amanda Nunes is a fucking pit bull. And pit bulls eat weak shit. And weak shit is Ronda Rousey. This shit is going to be over. It's going to be over. I think, like Holly Holm said, we'll see where she's at when she gets hit. Ronda Rousey is going to get hit. And she's going to get hit by someone who hits way harder than Holly Holm does.
What round is Rousey gonna lose in Guru?
I think that she loses in the second round.
I
think she realizes that she's getting her ass torn up in the first. I don't see her taking down Amanda Nunes. Amanda Nunes knows what to look for. And if you are with me on this, you will know that Ronda Rousey definitely has pillow hands. She knocked out one person, and anyone can knock out anybody. But Amanda Nunes does have Ronda Rousey has pillow hands, and Amanda Nunes got a fucking iron jaw. I don't see as a stand-up, I don't see a physical threat for Amanda Nunes in the stand-up game. And I think Amanda Nunes
Are you putting Ronda Rousey up there with like a Michael Bisping when you speak of pillow hands?
I'm putting Ronda Rousey. Let's see who's a good pillow hand fighter.
Because if you're gonna talk about pillow hand fighters, Michael Bisping is the king of pillow hand fighters.
I'm not gonna say
and Michael Bisping is the 185 champ.
The Diaz brothers, pillow fist.
Yeah, I mean Michael Bisping's the 185 champ on pillow fist. Right?
He is, but he's only the champ because one, he fucking defended that belt in England, right? Because Dan Henderson won that fucking fight.
How did he win that belt?
Right? And so did England. So did Anderson Silva beat Michael Bisping in England. But when you fight someone in their hometown with their home judges, for some reason you don't win. All right, because I can tell you that Silva and fucking Bisping or Dan Henderson beat Michael Bisping. And everyone else says the same thing. Who watches this shit and realizes it? There's no way that fucking Bisping beat Henderson and Silva and happened to be both fights in Manchester, England. Like, come on, all right. When it comes to Bisping even being the champ, he's only the champ because someone took him lightly. Anyone can lose, and if you fuck around, you're gonna lose. It's the same reason Anderson Silva lost. It wasn't because he was outclassed. He fucked around. The second time he broke his leg, but the first time he fucked around and he finally got caught.
Yeah, I'm the biggest Anderson Silva fan ever, and you don't lose back to back. You don't get finished back to back fights with the same guy and say it's coincidence or it's a fluke. Okay, he got knocked out and then he got his leg. Okay, the leg breaking wasn't an accident, bro. He checked that knee, he checked that kick to fuck him up.
Bro, I would say that too if I was Chris Weidman. I would say that same thing. Oh, I did it on purpose. Bull fucking shit. You picked your leg up. You didn't fucking intend to break his leg. You picked your leg up.
So he knocks him out. It's a fluke.
Bro.
He breaks his leg. It's a fluke. So when is it? How many times do you have to win?
No. I don't think the knockout is a fluke now. I think you got my words mixed up. I don't think the knockout's a fluke. I think the knockout's 100% real, and it happens when you fuck around. That's what I think. I think the leg breaking.
Like his leg got broken. He was losing that fight, man.
He was. You're right. No, he was. He was losing the fight. Anderson was losing the fight the second time they fought.
Back to Nunes Rousey, right? You talk about Rousey just buying all this hype. You know what's not hype? Winning all those fights in a row via finish, via first round submission. That's not hype. That's reality.
Against who? Against who though?
You want to know something, bro?
Like who?
No. Look this shit up, bro. Rousey and Nunes have 7 common opponents. You know what Rousey's record is with those 7 common opponents? 7-0. You know what Nunes' common opponents are? 5-2.
Okay.
So she's losing to the girls that Rousey's smoking. Okay.
Because
so when you tell me it's all hype,
you're talking about a grappler versus a stand-up fighter. You're talking about a grappler versus a stand-up fighter. A grappler versus a stand-up fighter. You're talking about someone who has grabbed a hold of people and put them in arm bars. I'm talking about a fighter. A fighter.
Is that not a part of mixed martial arts?
It absolutely is. But let me tell you something. You don't start in a grappling position. You start standing up. That's how I always start.
Does that completely negate all the grappling she knows somehow?
No, it's because the same people that she has fought have played into Ronda Rousey's game. Mm-hmm. They have. She's good at that, and she was good at that until she met one person. She was, and honestly, even Captain Gawd. No, it wasn't. It was definitely not Nunes. It was definitely Holly Holm. But at the end of the day, you're giving someone so much credit that's not deserved. Who in the division? Let's talk about when the division first opened. The only 2 names. First off, let's go to the first fucking fight of the division. The first fight was Ronda Rousey versus Liz Carmouche. Mm-hmm. Who is this girl?
You can only fight Liz Carmouche in front of you, man. And again, my biggest point is they've fought the same people, and Rousey has a better record against them, dude. So you can say her competition is weak, but it's the same competition that Nunes had, and Rousey did better.
The competition is different.
All you can do is fight who puts in front of you, man. That's all you can do.
The competition is totally different. It's like comparing the John Jones days to the Chuck Liddell days. The competition is different.
Era, man.
It is definitely not the same era, bro. Are we speaking? It's the same reason Chris Weidman's not the champ now. You put a bunch of old ass lions who are TRT the fuck up in front of Chris Weidman. Of course he beats him. You put a young fucking active Luke Rockhold, and Luke Rockhold fucking wiped his ass with Weidman's face. Just wiped that shit.
No.
Rockhold's trash. He lost to Bisbing. We can't.
So is Chris Weidman. Chris Weidman is trash.
Get both those guys out.
You're only as good as your trainer. That's what they say. And who's Weidman's trainer? Matt Serra, Mr. Fluke champion himself, right? And what did Weidman become? A Fluke champion.
Pan, dude. Flash in a pan.
You know what I'm saying? Yo Romero, that dude's a beast. But look what he did to Weidman. It's where the truth is at.
Roids, bro.
He's not on roids, man. He's not on roids. Not when he's fighting.
But no. It's a little different. But fight night, he's clean as fuck, bro. You know that.
I don't see, and like I tell everybody, man, right now, I think that people are still caught up in what Ronda Rousey was a year and a half ago. You got to understand, at the end of the day, fucking Amanda Nunes, Juliana Pena, Holly Holm, whether she has won or lost, they have proceeded to get better. Well, Ronda Rousey has been watching them on pay-per-view. Mm-hmm. All right? They have gotten better. They have stayed hungry. They have been eating. And Amanda Nunes, bro, if she walks in that motherfucker the same way she walked at UFC 200, God better be with Ronda Rousey that night, because that's a whole nother breed. I mean, that's on a level of Chris Cyborg.
So, Guru, let me ask you. Ronda Rousey.
Before we go any further, speaking of Chris Cyborg, all right, and then I'm gonna tell you that's the same reason why Ronda Rousey, whether you say so or not, has ducked Cyborg, because Ronda Rousey fought at 145 in Strikeforce, and for some reason she's afraid to do it in UFC because she knew that what happened to her from Holly Holm would have happened much faster if she fought Cyborg. Much faster. She's ducked Cyborg her whole fucking career, and she's blamed it on steroids. What the fuck ever. You're blaming it on fear, because I'd be afraid to.
Guru. Cyborg popped hot a couple years ago. Excuse me, a couple years ago, and dare I say a couple days ago?
No.
So why would you fight somebody who keeps popping hot?
She did piss hot, but you got to understand what she pissed hot for. She pissed hot for a diuretic because she was anemic. So she's already been cleared, and she's going through the process.
Everybody has an excuse, bro.
Exactly.
People got to get. Hey, these people got to get pregnant. They got to be able to eat.
Bro, listen. If you take Adderall, you're gonna piss hot. It's just how it is. But no one is saying all those things because it's Cyborg. She took and it wasn't even like she took it. She was prescribed it from a doctor because she's anemic from cutting weight to 140 instead of 145. She was anemic. That's why she couldn't take the fight, because she's anemic. I know what it is. I've cut weight many times, and I've felt horrible cutting weight where your blood is so damn thick. You have no water in you.
So pick a different weight class.
It's a shitty feeling.
Don't take illegal drugs, okay?
Yeah, exactly.
She's not taking her weight class though. She's not. That's the thing. You're still thinking Cyborg pissed hot for steroids. Cyborg pissed hot for prescribed medicine. She's not in trouble.
Oh, you mean
she's not in any trouble?
That's her fault. That's her fault.
Ghost, don't even get started, Ghost.
Bro,
we already had this conversation, bro. And I already shut this shit down.
If you listen to last week's podcast,
over the counter is a banned substance. That's what y'all don't understand. You're thinking that she's pissed off for a banned. Any substance that's not Tylenol or Motrin is a banned substance.
So why do
then why take it?
No, it's against.
Then why take it?
Because it's prescribed and it's allowed.
But if
it's prescribed and you have the prescription and it's valid, you're not in trouble for it.
So then why?
You're not.
So then why is she get in trouble?
She's not in trouble. She's just going through the process. She has to still go through the process, but she's not in trouble.
But she's still going to be okay. It's the same thing that John Jones is in. John Jones took some shit Cialis, and now he's suspended for a year. And
John Jones wasn't prescribed the medicine. John Jones took a dick pill, not a fucking Cialis or whatever it is.
He took shit Viagra or shit Cialis.
But it was not prescribed though, and that's where the difference is. You're talking about someone who's taking pills because
I take that same shit every Wednesday when I'm watching Total Divas, bro. It ain't no thing.
No, son, it's not the same. Hold up. Let me speak on this. Hold up, man. Ghost and I just talked about this 2 weeks ago on our podcast when he tried to sit there and dunce Paige before taking medicine that was prescribed to her, and he was literally shaming this woman on
our podcast because she was taking prescribed medication. Yo, if a doctor is prescribing that to you and you are taking it and you are letting your employer know that you are taking it and they suspend you, that is wrong. That is just straight up wrong.
Listen. But look, let me explain to you, because I think y'all don't know how the process works, and you hear the media and you go with it. Let me explain to you firsthand, because I know how the process works. If you are prescribed a medication and you give it to your employer, off the get, you are going to be suspended and an investigation is going to start. Off the get. They're going to want your prescriptions. They're going to want doctor information. They're going to want all that stuff. And it has to be proven. And then when it's proven, the suspension and the ban is lifted. You're always going to be suspended. It's crazy, because you can get suspended for Robitussin, but not fucking cocaine, because that's not on the fucking list. You can take cocaine all fucking day, but you can't do Robitussin, which is crazy to me. But the truth is, no matter what you take, if it's not over the counter prescribed, you're going to be suspended until the results or to the bottom is found of what's going on. She has to say that she's taking these medications. They have to suspend her. The media portrays it in a whole nother way than what it is. But truly, you are going to be suspended once you say, I'm taking this medication, blah, blah, blah. Okay, we need to suspend you. We need to get to the bottom of it. And when it's true, and it's lifted. Your ban is lifted. Your suspension is lifted. There's no fine given. You're good to go. It's how it is. It's the same reason that Belfort was allowed to fucking take one more dose of TRT before he fought Chris Weidman. Okay, I mean, it's the same thing. But you hear it in such a way that the media says it that it sounds like, oh, she's juicing. She's not. She took a diuretic because
more negative spin on it, though. You're right, man.
And that's truly what it is. It's not that Cyborg, oh, she pissed hot again. No, and when people say, are you pissed hot, you automatically think because it's UFC, it's steroids. What if it's a cold medicine? You don't think that. But it could be. You know, I don't know. I think that, back to that, I think that Rousey was dodging Cyborg. Whether or not that she wants to admit it, she wanted to hold on to that belt a little bit longer.
Oh,
there's no, you know, Ronda Rousey's not a...
She was like, do I want to fight, you know, a really, really bad bitch or a chick that's a little bit more manageable for me to handle? Of course, she took the route.
And I know I don't blame Rousey for doing what she did. I really don't. She's in a business sense, it's a smart thing to do. She made her millions of dollars avoiding Cyborg, but you can't avoid it for long. You know what I mean? At some point, that bully's going to take your lunch money, and you have to just give that shit up.
Do you feel like she's avoiding Holly Holm now? Because I believe she was given the option to fight Holm to avenge her loss or to fight for the title, and she chose the title. Do you think she's ducking Holm now?
Absolutely. I feel that Ronda Rousey's that person, man. If she's not in charge, like she said on Ellen, if she's not the champ, then what is she? You know, it's okay to be average. It's okay. Not everyone can be Mayweather and pick their fights and win. Not everybody can do that. You know what I mean? Not every number one champ can find a number 18
that's
person.
That's what it is.
But I think when and that's one thing I will give Dana White credit on. I don't think that, you know, no matter who the champion is at the time, he still puts the competition in front of you. You know what I mean? I think that she should have fought Holly Holm. I think that Holly Holm getting an immediate title shot for 145 is absurd. I think it's crazy. But
who wants to get that 145 shot though?
I mean, why not Rousey, right? Why not? Why not give it to her? I mean, I feel that Jermaine Durand to me, I think she's an easier fight than Amanda Nunes. Me personally, I'd rather come back and fight that and get a belt than fucking fight.
So even though knocked out Rousey, you feel Rousey is more deserving of that 45 title?
I think when you talk about a person who was a champ and has cleanly lost their last two fights, not close. I'll say the Miesha Tate fight was close, and that would have went to.
No, she was winning, but then she did get finished though.
She did. She got finished, but it was still Holmes' fight, the whole fight. I don't think that you take two losses and because they create a new division, bro. That's like let's say they finally add this cruiserweight to the UFC, which I'm hoping they do beginning of next year. They add this cruiserweight and they put let me think this let's see Glover Teixeira and Rashad Evans for the 225 belt. Do you think those two are deserving for a title shot? Absolutely not. You know, I would imagine Alexander Gustafsson and John Jones would be a good match for that belt.
Maybe Anthony Johnson.
Or Anthony Johnson if he wasn't fighting for the 205 belt already. But I mean, I would imagine that any one of those top four. I think when you have a new division, you should look at your top two in the last division to go fight for that belt. And maybe Ronda Rousey had an opportunity to fight for the featherweight belt.
Maybe she turned her down, dude.
Yeah, maybe she did. I mean, I can't tell you she did or not, but I think that me personally, I'd rather have come back to Jermaine Durandamy than Amanda Nunes in a heartbeat. But I really think that Holly Holm and Ronda Rousey should have fought regardless for a comeback fight. You know, Chuck Liddell lost to Randy Couture, and he didn't come back and fight Tito Ortiz. Well, he fought Randy Couture. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? John Jones comes back, and who's he fight? He fights Daniel Cormier. You know, it's always that last person you fight. And for some reason,
it probably comes down to your whole, like, what's the bigger name, dude? Rousey fighting for the belt. It brings a lot of money in it. It sells. It
does.
Man. It probably goes back to
it does.
Man. But honestly, I believe Rousey was given the option, and she was like, "Well, Holm just, knocked me out. I'd rather go."
I think so. I think that she looked at it and was like, okay, Holly Holm's fighting for 145, and I already got my ass torn out by her. Extremely one-sided. And yeah, what does she have to lose? You know, she goes back and fights for a belt again against Holly Holm and loses. I mean, that's a career ender for her. It really is. Yeah, she's smart business-wise, man. You know, yeah, she's a smart businesswoman.
She goes to the WWE. That's where she goes.
But
I see around the Raw division because they need it.
I see that happen. I can see that happen. I see her going there. I don't think, and it's like I said when Brock Lesnar was there. I feel like, man, they were great at the time. They were great for the sport, and it's what the sport needed. But when you think about the top 3 people who earn in UFC, Conor McGregor, Ronda Rousey, Brock Lesnar, only one of those persons are a true fighter, a true warrior inside, and that's Conor McGregor. Brock Lesnar is not a warrior. You know, the minute he started getting hit, he curled up and ran. Mm-hmm. Ronda Rousey, the minute she's under pressure, she's
We've
lost.
only seen that. I feel like the book hasn't been written on Rousey yet. Yeah, Brock. Yeah, Conor. But I mean, like Rousey, we don't know yet. Honestly, it'll be decided in this fight, dude. Is she gonna bounce back and win? Gonna get her belt back, or is she gonna get dropped again, dude?
I think she has one chance, and that's a lucky armbar or some lucky submission. I think that she is totally outclassed by Amanda Nunes.
Considering she's won by like 8 armbars, I'm pretty sure if she gets an armbar, it's not luck, bro.
It's luck. I don't. I think if she gets an armbar, then it's, she's great at grappling. She grapples with the Diaz brothers. She's a great grappler. But as a fighter, it's more than just an armbar. I don't think her hands are anywhere near Amanda Nunes' hands and legs.
No, I agree with that, but it's like I don't. The only thing that matters, man.
No, it's not. I don't think her takedown defense is better than Amanda Nunes, and I don't think her takedowns are better than Amanda Nunes. You got to also understand.
Amanda Nunes is going to try to take her down, bro?
I don't think Amanda Nunes fears Ronda Rousey. I don't think she ever has. And when you don't fear somebody, you're a much better fighter.
Oh yeah.
Ronda Rousey has a lot of weight coming into this fight. She has a lot of expectation coming into this fight. She knows she has to win this fight. Everyone expects Amanda Nunes to lose. So what does she have to lose? You know what I'm saying? You're the champion who's expected to lose. You know what I mean? All she has to do is prove everybody wrong. Ronda Rousey has to prove everybody right. You know what I'm saying? And that's a lot harder to do. I don't feel that Rousey's in a state to come back to get the belt back, to win, to stand. It's going to start standing. And yeah, if Ronda Rousey, she's won a lot of her fights by armbar, but the truth be told, a lot of those fights, more than half of those armbars fell into place. Okay, they really did. It fell into place. Let's be real. Let's say at least half of them fell into place. You don't think so?
Yeah.
I can tell you at least 4 of those arm bars fell into place.
Yeah, they just fell right into place when she did her badass judo throws into that position.
It happens. When it hit Liz Carmouche, it happened. It fell into place. And she even said it when she won. It was there. I got it. When she beat Miesha Tate, it fell into place. And she broke that fucking arm. You know what I'm saying? Let's be real. Ronda Rousey is great, and I mean great, phenomenal in one area. But as a fighter, you need to be phenomenal in many areas. Or you don't have to be phenomenal. You need to be good.
You need to be good in a lot of areas, but you don't have to be phenomenal.
Yes. You can't be phenomenal in one area, but you have to be good in a lot of areas to be a complete fighter. You don't have to be great in everything, but you have to be good in everything. You know, you have to have good takedown defense. You have to have good takedowns. You have to have good striking. You have to have good defense, good footwork. You have to have a complete fighter. You can't just say, you know what, I do arm bars. I grapple. It'll get you nowhere. Unless you're Daniel Maya, it'll get you nowhere. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't see any way other than a submission. And I can't even tell you how that submission is going to happen because I just don't see Ronda Rousey dominating Amanda Nunes.
So
I just cannot see it.
Do you have Rousey losing officially?
I have Rousey losing in the second round.
Dahbi, what about you?
Yeah, like I said earlier, man, it's gonna be Rousey submission in the second round, dude.
So you think Rousey's gonna lose as well?
No, I'm sorry. I think Rousey wins via submission. I think the first round she gets her bearings back about getting knocked out and gets the cobwebs off. Second round she gets aggressive, hits a judo throw, turns it into an armbar, and Nunes taps.
I think the first round she gets hit really hard and realizes that this doesn't happen in Hollywood. And you know what I mean? And she's gone from there.
She's in Fast and Furious.
She sucks, bro. Shit. I don't know. I cannot see any way. I can't see her taking punishment from Nunes to come in. That's what I'm trying to explain. Like, you have Rousey's gonna take a couple to grapple. She's gonna take a couple coming in. You know what I mean? Her hands are precise, and she's been, like I say, she's been training for a year. So she says. She's in the best shape of her life. So she says. But it's different when you're in there. How many people said they're gonna beat Tyson before it finally happened, and the person that beat him was a buster? You know what I'm saying?
Literally.
How many people swore that they were the ones to beat Tyson, and Tyson demolished them? Old school fighters like, oh, I'm the one. It's when you have nothing to fear. You know, I think when Tyson lost to Douglas, the weight of the world was on him, and it was a hard time for him. He finally lost, and you could lose to anybody. It goes to show you can lose to anybody. I think Rousey's time is over, man, and it has to be. You gotta take yourself out of being a fan and put yourself as an enthusiast. Because when you're a fan, you're going to find bias. But when you're just an enthusiast, you're going to see. I'm a diehard Spurs fan. But I tell you what, it'd be a hard game against the Warriors or the Cavs. It'd be a hard game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm an enthusiast, you know, at the same time. So I take myself out of the fan seat. I'm not a Nunes fan. I'm not a Rousey fan. I'm a realist. And when I look at the style and I look at how you have to make things happen, how you have to piece things together to get what you're good at getting, where you're weak at. Where you're weak at is where your opponent's strong at. Where your opponent's strong at is extremely like where you're weak at. In order to get where you're strong at, you have to go through what they're strong at. So it's a mind. It really is a mind game, man. And I don't see, other than the grappling game, where Ronda Rousey is better than Nunes. I just don't, except the cardio.
Like I think that in the grand scheme of things, I mean, we're all going to be waiting for the armbar. So it sounds like to me, if we just made it official, Nunes, Dahbi, you have Rousey winning, and Guru, you got Nunes winning. Is that right?
That's what I got. Second round TKO.
Perfect. So, Sage, you've been awfully quiet this whole time. I just wanted to go ahead and wrap up today's episode. Yo, we have a lot to listen to. If you got a lot, I mean, go through, listen to all this. There's detailed information. We got Guru, the Gawd, the special guest. I appreciate you joining us.
Thank you, sir.
We got Dahbi Amore joining us today.
Hey, man, always a pleasure, man. Love to have it back.
So we're going to wrap things up. I don't have much more to say. You've already heard our UFC predictions. You've heard it from Dahbi and Guru and their perspectives on how things are going to go down. UFC from the tops to the bottom. Sage the Mark. I'm Ben Goosen at Ben_Goosen on Twitter. Hit me up. It does go down in the DM. I can't talk that loud because my wife's going to hear me. But it really does go down in the DM. Hit me up at Ben_Goosen. You know what I'm saying? And Sage, man, before we close out the show, because we kind of had a good week. Where can they follow you at? Where can they hit you up in the DM at?
You know, hey, my wife listens to this, man, so they ain't hitting me up in no DM. All right, that's for sure.
Woo! Trying to get you riding dirty, bro.
No, you know how Hispanic women are, man. They get crazy, and I love my life. On the reels though, hit us up at Real WrestleCast. You can find me, Sage the Mark, at Sage the Mark on Twitter. Visit our website, irwp.us. And show us a little love. Share, like, subscribe. Let us know what you guys like, what you guys hear, all that good stuff. But, best of all, guys, just keep it real.
That's right. And Dahbi, come back on the Fallout show when you can tell me I'm right about everything I said.
Hey, bro. wait to hear that shit, bro.
Yes,
All right,
sir.
guys, have a good one.
All right, y'all,